We already know that what's going in the world. Yes, we are talking about Israel-Palestinian issue. And what we have got from this war till now, that thousands of innocent people have killed from the both sides. And this war is not just impacting Israel and Palestine, it is impacting other countries like Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, and also India in terms of economy, in terms of diaspora, and now soldiers. Hello everyone, welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today we are going to discuss very important topic, which is Indian soldiers at Israel-Lebanon border. So this topic is important from GS2 perspective. Moving to the points of discussion part. So first of all, we are going to discuss the news and then why tension at the Lebanon border. So we will discuss the Lebanon border and then Indians at the Lebanon border. So we will discuss the presence of Indians at the Lebanon border and then role of India in the UN peacekeeping missions, and after that we will discuss practice question for prelims and mains. So moving to the news part. So we already know that war is going between Hamas and Israelis, and in which Hamas has first attacked the Israeli land, and in retaliation Israelis had also attacked the Gaza Strip, which is considered as the most populous region of the whole world. So what is the new development and new update regarding this war? That 900 Indian soldiers had been stationed at the Israel and Lebanon border, and for which kind of peacekeeping missions they are stationed there. So there is a mission called United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, and through that mission 900 Indian soldiers has been deployed at Israel-Lebanon border. And not just Israel-Lebanon border, 200 other Indian soldiers have been also deployed at Golan Heights, so which is near to the Syria and Israel. So this is the news we are going to discuss in today's lecture. So why tension at the Lebanon border? Since we were discussing about Israel-Palestinian issue and Gaza Strip and Hamas involvement, so how come we are discussing about the Lebanon involvement into it? So we already know that there is a group, and which is also known as a military organization and military kind of group, and few of the countries had demarcated as a terrorist organization whose name is Hezbollah. So there is a presence of Hezbollah in the Lebanese territories, and Hezbollah has extended its support to the Hamas, and they had also started attacking Israel from the northern side, and because of that attack Israel has also started attacking in retaliation. An Israeli defense minister whose name is Yoav Gallant had said that if Hezbollah will not attack to the Israeli land, then they will also not attack, and if they will attack on the Israeli land, then they had to pay the heavy prices for it. So because of all these things, this conflict has been started, and the worrisome part is that Indian soldiers are stationed at the Israel and Lebanese border. So this is the thing, and why Hezbollah is supporting and extending its support to the Hamas. So first of all, there is a sense of Muslim brotherhood, and it is all the Arab kind of the territory, and because of the Arab territory, they all are supporting to the Muslim cause, and because of this Muslim brotherhood, they all are supporting to the Palestinian issues. And first of all, Israel and this Palestine issue is not just limited to the two countries, it's all about the all Arab neighboring countries. So it's between the Israel versus all Arab neighboring countries. Right now we have seen that there were few peaceful commitments between Israel, Saudi Arabia and UAE, but that was not enough for this kind of this thing and this kind of the war. So this Hezbollah is a military kind of organization which has been erupted from the Iranian revolutionary group, and they were very active in Lebanese civil war, and since then they are very active in various parts of the world, especially the Islamic organization and Islamic countries. So these are the history and brief history of Hezbollah and why they are supporting their support to the Hamas and Palestinian because of the Muslim Brotherhood, and they are also against the Western influence into the Arab region. So they don't want that Westerners should influence into the Arab region, and they had said that, you know, these Israelis and Jews has come from the Western world, which is from the Europe, and they are influencing and they are intruding and they are encroaching the Arab land. So since because of this all reason, they are supporting the Palestinian issues. So this is because of this issue, there is a tension between Israel and Lebanese territory where Hezbollahs are the dominant group. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is about that Indians at the Lebanon border. So we already know that, you know, there is a 110-kilometer long blue line. We will discuss about that. What is the geographical location of the long blue line? So there is a 900 Indian soldiers, and other soldiers are also stationed there, but we have our presence into this blue line stretch. And since 1978, Indian soldiers are present into this, and the UN has said that, you know, the force name is interim. But here interim does not mean the temporary. So since 1978, Indian forces are stationed there. So moving to the blue line part. So what is the geographical location of the blue line part? So the blue line is a demarcation line between Lebanon and Israel, and also Lebanon and the Golan Heights. So this thing you have to be very careful for your prelims examination. And who has published this thing? So United Nations has published this thing on 7th June 2002. And this is not a border, because since beginning we are saying that this is a border thing between Israel and Lebanon, but in contemporary or in real sense it is not a border with Israel and Lebanon. It is a demarcation line, or it is called as a line of withdrawal or withdrawal line, because since line of this withdrawal, the Israel will not encroach to the Lebanese territory, and then Lebanese will also not encroach to the Israeli territory. So here is the blue line we have seen, and here is the presence of Israel, Syria. So this we can see that, and here is the presence of Lebanon. So here there are involvement of 3 countries we can see here, and there are so many important cities around this thing. And you should also know the location of Shaba farms, because this is also bone of contention between Lebanese and also the Hezbollah and Israelis. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is about that role of India in UN peacekeeping mission. So is this only place where Indian soldiers are active as a UN peacekeeping organization or UN peacekeeping force? So right now we have 12 UN peacekeeping force, and you know, Indian soldiers are active in various parts of the world, and they are also active in Sudanese area. So they are active since 1948, and India is one of the 5th highest contributor of the UN peacekeeping missions. So India has become the 5th highest contributor. It means that so many Indian soldiers are working for the UN peacekeeping, and they are very voluntary in nature, and they had different kind of principle to work on this. And till now India had contributed 260,000 Indians as a part of UN peacekeeping mission, and currently 5,800 Indians are working for the UN peacekeeping mission, and they are active in various parts of the world. So these are the contribution made by the India. And from where this story has been started? So this story has been started since 1915. There was a Korean War going on, and as a contributor to prisoners war, India had contributed to the UN peacekeeping organization. And in 2022 we have seen that 4,207 people have died as a part of UN peacekeeping organization, and among them highest fatalities have been recorded from the Indian side, followed by Pakistan and Bangladesh. It means that India had suffered 175 fatalities, followed by Pakistan 166 and Bangladesh 160. It means that Asian countries are contributing a lot to the UN peacekeeping missions. And India deployed a platoon of women peacekeepers in Sudan's Abyei region. So right now we have seen that Sudan is also going through very tough phase. So Indian women force are stationed there. So this is a very important thing about for your prelims examination, and it is very helpful for your mains examination as well. Moving to the next slide. Next slide is that practice question for prelims. So blue line is a withdrawal line between. So we already had studied the geographical location of blue lines. So here you have to mark the answer according to the options. So here your options are Israel, Palestine, Israel, Egypt, Israel, Syria, Israel, Lebanon. So here you will mark the answer who is nearest to the closed one and nearest to the correct answer. So moving to the mains part. So mains question is, what is UN peacekeeping mission? Is their functioning really effective? It means that you have to give brief background of UN peacekeeping mission. So this story has been started since 1948, when there was a war with Israel and Arab countries. So since then this story has been started, and there are few principles for this UN peacekeeping mission. So what are the principles for UN peacekeeping thing? So the first principle is that consent is important. So here any party or any organization or any country is contributing to UN peacekeeping, it's like totally on the consent basis, not forcefully. And the second principle they have like impartiality. And third they have no use of force, and if they will use force in order for the self-defense. So these are the three principles for the UN peacekeeping missions. So India had agreed on to all these principles, that they are not impartial towards Israelian into this peacekeeping. They are also not impartial towards Lebanese or Palestinian. They should be very neutral into this kind of thing. So these are the principles which India and other countries who are contributing to UN peacekeeping mission had to follow. So this will be the brief background of UN peacekeeping missions. And since now UN peacekeeping mission has contributed to 70 peacekeeping missions, and it has launched 70 peacekeeping since now. Until now, 12 peacekeeping missions are active throughout the world. So when we'll see that how many countries are involved, so almost 120 countries are involved into UN peacekeeping organizations. And when we see that from where and how they are active, so they are mostly active in Asian, Middle East and African region. So when we'll come to the second part, that is their functioning really active. So in case of Middle East, we can say that it is active. In case of Africa also, we can say that it is active. And in case of Asia also, it is very active. But when it comes to the European thing, it is not very much active. So here you can analyze your answer that, in terms of Asia, Africa and Middle East, they are very active, but they are not active in European thing. And what we are seeing that, so many European countries are also indulged into various wars, just like Russia, Ukraine issue, we are seeing that. So there we have not seen any involvement and much involvement of UN peacekeeping mission kind of thing. So this is one of the loopholes of this UN peacekeeping thing. So in that way, you can say that they are effective, but they should be effective for whole world. So in this way, you can conclude your answer. I hope you like this lecture. If you have any queries related to this lecture, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you.